Hello, and welcome back to Stories from Ashley's Childhood. Today I'm going to tell you guys about the time we took a family cruise. So it was the first cruise my sisters and I had ever been on, and we weren't really sure how to feel at first, but as it got closer we got more and more excited. So we were talking about it all the time, and people would be like, oh, where are you going? And we would be super excited and be like, we're going to the Bahamas, because we'd never been to the Bahamas before. And so I'm not really sure what the origin of the miscommunication was, but we were not going to the Bahamas. We took a family cruise to Cozumel, Mexico. So, oops. So we get on this cruise, and so it was our group of our immediate family and then my stepmother's extended family. So there was a really large group of us, and to keep track of everybody, we were communicating over walkie-talkies. And my sisters and I, being the professional masters of espionage that we are, we were communicating over the walkie-talkies with fart noises. So you would hear things like, over, and then the response would be something along the lines of 10, over, and this went on for probably at least 2 hours, until finally my stepmom, driven to insanity from this situation, finally came over the radio and was like, please stop making fart noises into the walkie-talkies. And we lose it. We're cackling, and we're laughing at it for like an hour. But you have to picture like the most elegant, like prim and proper, very classy woman on vacation with her husband. They're walking around trying to enjoy their vacation, and there's just fart noises coming out of the walkie-talkies clipped to their hips. So I'm sure people were staring at this, trying to piece together why fart noises were coming out of people's hip region. Enough to the point that she was like, all right, you guys have to stop making fart noises in the walkie-talkies. So we did. We stopped making fart noises, and but then another night, my dad was getting ready for supper and went back to the room to take a shower. And I guess he got out of the shower and was getting dressed and sat down on the bed and just completely knocked out. And so we hear them on the radio for like an hour trying to figure out, hey, Paul, what's your location? Trying to find him, and no responses. But we didn't really think anything of it. We just figured like, oh, his radio died, or, you know, whatever. So then they finally reached the conclusion that, well, we'll just go back to the room and we'll get ready for supper, and like he's a big boy, he can figure out how to get back to his own room. And so they go back and find that my dad had not only the 2 keys to his and my stepmom's room, but also the key to my little brother's room, which was adjoining to their room. And my little brother was sharing a room with my youngest sister. So my stepmom comes to my room that I was sharing with the middle sister, and the 3 of us are hanging out in there, and she's like, hey, do you have your room key? And so my youngest sister's like, oh yeah, I've got it. So she opens the door, and they open the door into the room to find my father asleep with the radio like plugged in and charging, volume up. So at this point they're testing it. They're like, oh, well, maybe he just couldn't hear it. So they're testing with the walkie-talkie to see if it is projecting. And it is. It's like the loudest thing. And he's still just sleeping right on through. Just was not waking up for anything at this point. And so finally they wake him up, and they're like, we've been looking for you for like 2 hours. So some lessons from the first of 3 episodes about this cruise. Number 1, know your location / your destination, because we looked really stupid when we came back from this cruise, and people were like, oh, how was the Bahamas? And we were like, ha, we actually went to Mexico. So know where you're going. Number 2 would be practice radio etiquette, or at least have a separate channel designated for tomfoolery such as fart noises. And number 3, make sure you always have a key to your room, and don't hoard the room keys, especially if you are susceptible to sudden naps. Cheers.